They had no idea where they were going.
Yeah. Right off a cliff. That's a sad story. It was multi-season.
Yeah, it was McGeese's. Yeah, geese burgers. They can't read.
They don't know.
The geese can't read.
Leading them to the goose factory.
Baker, when you were jobless, did women still flock to you?
Only when I lied to them and told them I was gainfully employed.
So you believe in this theory?
Of lying to women about your work situation?
Well, that too, but the fact that
I think it's true. I think this this is out of my wheelhouse, but I think that women they'll look at a fellow like Terry or a fellow like Bill, and they'll be drawn towards Terry because he looks like a big strapping guy who could hunt down a bear,
like the strapping hooker you took home last night.
Yes,
I look like someone who would date a bear.
Right.
Yeah. Right. No, I see what you're saying.
Like a bear would take somebody home.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And the same goes with jobs. I think they view employment in that same sort of way, provider.
And the thing is, Kaylee, I mean, there's two sides of it. Is it a good thing that a man does not land a woman who wouldn't like him if he doesn't have a job? Or is the woman just being smart? Because, from an evolutionary standpoint, she's looking for a provider the same way a guy looks for reproductive potential.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I mean, I'm all about finding true love and whatnot, but come on, at some point, practicality has got to take over. If you don't have a job, if you're homeless, I'm probably not going to love you. I mean, just a guess.
Oh, that hurts.
Wait,
Thank God the homeless people out on the street don't have TVs to listen to you say that. They'd be even more depressed.
Well, let me get this straight. If you don't have a job and you're not homeless, what about 1 out of 2?
Okay, if you've only been unemployed for a short time, the recession hit you, that's one thing. But if you're completely jobless, homeless, not going to work.
Business card says sidekick, but I live in a box. I'll talk to you after.
Gutfeld stole my thunder. By the way, that was really articulated about human evolution. And
you know what's funny about you, Terry? You're always surprised when I'm able to complete a sentence. It's true.
I think he speaks for the table.
But I think I
didn't mean
you speak for America. But Terry, does it suck to be a guy right now in this day and age, or no matter what, a guy can find fun whether he's unemployed or broke?
Yeah, I think it's kind of how you're. I hate to sound whatever, but it's kind of your own self-image. Yeah, it is. You can still have fun. You can be poor.
Yeah.
We could go.
The thing is, Bill has a job, but everybody assumes he doesn't. That's the funny part.
He's like, he got a way better job than me. Yeah. Way more money than I do.
But your point about self-image, I think, is an important one because, part of this study talks about the long-term unemployed, right? And those people that are long-term and then pull themselves out of the effort to try to find a job. I mean, it is a devastating problem.
Yeah.
And you know what? Yeah. This is the bigger point, this extended unemployment. Can we agree finally that extending jobless benefits only extends joblessness? Yeah. This did no good, but I'm not saying people just sat there and took money. It took away the incentive.
Yeah. And isn't that common sense? I mean, at some point, didn't Obama have to say to himself, this is how it works? Like, It's not going to inspire the guy to get off his couch and go find a job. It's going to do the opposite.
Well,
it's common sense.
The biology comes in, Greg.
Yeah.
Where, like, a lion is not going to go after the fastest, strongest animal. It's going to go after the slowest, weakest one. So if that slowest, weakest one is a welfare check, I'm taking it.
Yeah. Interesting point there.
I figured I'd say that.
Yeah. It depends on how competitive the lion is, though, really. I mean, some are different than others.
Don't undercut me, dude.
I think I'm going to move on.
I was
talking about lions.
I was raised by
I don't care about that. I don't.
I was raised by bears.
The camera should be on me, not them, because they're talking nonsense. You got to learn how to do this show, okay? Because I'm losing all patience. They're still talking.
Do they know who we are?
I don't know who you are.
They just exchanged the drugs, Greg.
All right.
You're off camera. They just exchanged them aside.
Coming up. Are the poor the solution to our energy crisis? We discuss Kaylee's new book, The Poor, Our New Fossil Fuel.
Again?
You're a monster! You're a monster!
But first, what did these two hotties do that got them in hot water? Well, if you guessed jumping into a tub of hot water, you'd be wrong. They had sex. Yeah. Wait, mugshot. They make too much noise, even though they're not boys. Yes, according to the head of the All England Lawn and Tennis Club, that's Wimbledon to you and me, the grunts emanating from the women players are turning fans off from the sport. Ian Ritchie tells limey newspaper The Daily Telegraph that the players' grunts are annoying to viewers and distracting to other players, and that he'd like to see less of it. Two players particularly known for their noise-making capabilities are Victoria Azarenka, who reached 95 decibels at this year's Wimbledon, and Maria Sharapova, got that one, who hit 105 decibels back in 2009. Check out Sharapova at a match on Wednesday.
That's fake.
You know what, though? it got worse as the match went on.
Oh my God, that was genius.
But I could see why there would be complaints.
If I paid good money to see that,
Yes,
Godzilla shows up.
The worst part is right after we shot that, Mothra came out and took off her head.
That's what it sounds like.
Oh, yeah, it was amazing. It became, and Rodin just showed up.
And Mechazilla.
Mechazilla,
came
who
over
basically, who's on anabolics, let's face it. He's totally not supposed to be there. Mike, don't you agree that they're making excuses for the lack of eyeballs? No one's watching tennis. It has nothing to do with the grunting. The grunting's awesome.
Yeah. No, I remember. I'm old enough to remember the heyday of tennis on television.
Yeah.
You know, it was McEnroe, it was Zelia Nastase, it was Bjorn Borg, all that, and it was insanely popular. Nowadays, you know, you think, who? What?
Yeah.
I mean, they're having a real hard time, and they spend a lot of time trying to pump up the personalities.
Well, here's the sexism, Terry. Back in that day, you had Zelia Nastase, you had Jimmy Connors, you had McEnroe, all throwing tantrums. Yeah. Everybody loved the tantrums. Why is this worse than tantrums, Terry? It's not. This is
worse.
Sexism.
It's absolutely not worse.
Yes.
We can't stand for it. And you know, the short skirts and the grunting, that's probably why I would watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I said that, America. I'm sexist.
Yes. Kaylee, you actually won Wimbledon in 2006.
I did.
Yes.
Well done.
Grunt free.
Yeah, you were grunt free. Is this all Obama's fault, and should he be impeached?
He should be impeached for the grunting. But no, I want to extend an invitation for these women to come to my gym because the guys there are so annoying. They do the squats and the bench presses, and it's the most unseemly noises I've ever heard. And I'm pretty sure.
Grunting, or what kind of noises are you talking about?
Yeah, you sure they're bench pressing?
They are, and it's. I want to ban the grunts at my gym before the Wimbledon. That's what it boils down to.
I mean, it shows, you know what? It shows passion. You know, it shows. I don't know what it is.
Do you even know where you are?
I don't know. I think
talking about tennis.
Bill,
You're not grunting. You're
Bill,
snoring.
I got to move on, but Bill. Why do people buy into the premise at tennis that there has to be silence? I can get it with bowling because you're in a confined space and it's a better sport. The ball's heavier. But in this case, you know, tennis, why do you have to be quiet? Why does everybody have to treat it like it's surgery?
I think the more your uniform is less a uniform and more a yacht party, the more quiet you have to be. Same with golf. If you're wearing khakis or white shorts, gotta be real quiet.
Yeah. I think it's racist.
It is racist.
I think it's racist.
I don't even know against what race, but I don't think that's important. At this point, it's just racist. All right. Do you have a comment on the show? Email us. It's redeye@foxnews.com. And to leave a voicemail, my direct line, call 212-462-5050. Still to come, the halftime report from TV's Andy Levy. He's racist. Welcome back. Let's find out if we've got anything wrong so far. For that, we go to TV's Andy Levy. Hey, Andy.
Hey, Greg.
Oh, that was creepy.
Wasn't it? Yeah. President Obama announced his plan for troop drawdown in Afghanistan. Terry, you said the people who got Obama elected are coming to call, and I agree with you. But there also does seem to be the strain of isolationism on the right that's becoming a little more popular these days.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the really conservative people are like, why are we getting involved in that? So it's definitely, they're definitely on the same page with that.
Yep. Also, you mentioned that for you, it's more about the rules of engagement than the number of troops we had. But as Mike alluded to, I'm not even sure what the mission is over there anymore.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. You know, if that's not clearly articulated and in various things, you know, special forces guys or infantry, we're supposed to be killing dudes, not building schools. And Pinch is talking to me, right? How am I supposed to do this?
I don't know. I don't know. You just pretend he's not there like I do.
Yeah. Pretend that hand holding the string on Pinch is
We'll
there.
fix that in edit, Baker. Now we're going to bleep you.
Let me make a note. Bill said fix that in edit.
Yeah.
Note to self.
He never says that.
I apologize for nothing, Andy.
Yeah. Also, Mike, as you said, we're not going to leave behind a stable government in Afghanistan. Then why not bring them all home?
Well, I mean, from a strategic point, it doesn't make sense to bring them all home. You got to do a phased withdrawal, but you can speed up that withdrawal. And you can just be honest with the American public. I mean, we saw Secretary Gates, right? He's on his way out the door.
Right.
And that's when you start getting, you know, as Elizabeth Buehler said, the unvarnished truth. Well, let's get that unvarnished truth on a regular basis rather than when a senior official's about to retire.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I know. What the hell was I talking about?
Yeah. By the way, Gates gave a statement after the president's speech. He gave a statement supporting the president. what the president's plan. So, so much for that unvarnished truth.
Yeah.
Hey, Andy, I got a question
Greg.
for you. Why
Yes, sir.
does the president pronounce Taliban like this?
Taliban, Taliban, Taliban.
Or Pakistan? Why does he do Pakistan?
Pakistan, Pakistanis, Pakistan, Pakistan, Pakistani.
Yeah, I don't know. Why did lefties in the 80s say Nicaragua?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Margaritas.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
All right. I'll take your answer.
Okay. Interesting, though, he does say Afghanistan,
Yes.
Yeah.
which
he
I'm
doesn't-
fairly certain is not how they pronounce it there.
Right.
Yeah. These are just things I noticed, Greg.
I know. You know, you are the king of all noticers.
I am.
Yes.
Yep.
Although sometimes you don't notice me.
I notice you. I just pretend I don't.
Should we all leave the room?
There's been something going on with these two all night tonight, by the way. This is a little out of hand. I dig it, actually. Okay, I like
They're
it.
just jealous.
I am jealous.
Yeah.
I'm creeped out.
Kayla, you said we should stay in Afghanistan and see the job through, but again, what job is that?
It's as cliche as it sounds. It's changing hearts and minds, and you can look at the numbers. We're doing just that. You look at all Middle Eastern countries. Confidence in Osama bin Laden prior to his death went down tremendously by 30-40% in some places. We're doing it, and we need to stay until it's done. We can't placate everyone, surely. I know that, but we can placate enough to where they'll stifle terrorism where we don't have to.
No, we really can't.
We really can, Andy.
No, we can't.
Do you have a reason to back why we can't?
Wait, I believe that's a
Because the
unicorn
numbers would
popping out of my
dispute you.
backside.
10 years.
Unicorn.
The numbers would dispute you.
No, 10 years of being over there with no end in sight doesn't make me very confident
But
that
it's
we can do
okay.
that.
No one is expressing any sort of confidence in the Afghan people, which is highly
Right.
disturbing to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Afghan people are highly
You're just
disturbing to me.
generalizing. We can't create a government that functions. We can't do
No,
this.
we
can't do
can't.
that.
It's a tribe. It's a country
No.
governed by tribes, and governed
yes,
isn't even
but
the right
so you
word.
create a government that accommodates that, like in Lebanon, where they
They
have the
don't
Maronite
want a
Christians
government.
have
They
one.
don't want a central
Oh,
government.
they don't want a government, so they're just
No.
hooligans.
I
just feel awkward.
I'm a libertarian. I don't want a government.
Oh, okay, Andy. Whatever you say, you know all. The
And by the way,
ombudsman.
this is all moot because it's Afghanistan.
No, it's
So, like, enough.
It's a good student.
This is all moot. It's
I just, at this point,
Afghanistan.
I think Americans are dying for a pipe dream.
Well,
To each his own.
Yeah, if that doesn't bother you, that's cool.
It bothers me, of course.
I know.
But
That was admittedly a cheap shot.
yeah, well,
It was. That was cheap.
Yeah.
Look, can I just point something out, Andy?
Sure.
To this point. We do have a recent case study in Afghanistan, right? And I actually got in an argument with somebody about the Russian experience in Afghanistan. And I was saying, look, I can't believe that we're so insanely short-sighted we can't learn from that whole experience. And he said, well, the difference being, he says, he was outraged that I could compare the Soviet occupation of Afghanistan to our time there. He said, well, they hated the Soviets, as opposed to, how they feel about us.
Right.
But the Soviets got in there, and about 4 years after they got in there, we know this because we've seen all the Politburo papers now at this point, they spent 5 years trying to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Right? And they couldn't figure out how to do it. So what did they do? Well, we'll hold the urban centers, right? Because we couldn't keep the countryside. How do we keep a stable, non-corrupt government? Well, they couldn't do it. I mean, we're going through the same exact thing that they went through. They went through the same exact thing that Alexander the Great went back through, marching all the way through history. So I think we do have, to your point, we do have some pretty good case studies that show our confidence in the Afghan people is a little bit misplaced.
Well, no, we just try and superimpose our system on them, and you can't do that. You create a government and I believe it's Lebanon, where you have the Maronite Christians who have one part of it, and then the Muslims have another part, and it's ruled by their
Syrians.
Their sympathies.
Both of you.
So there you go.
Andy. Both of you kiss Andy right now.
Talk about something else.
Not sure Lebanon is your best bet as an
I was
example
gonna
of
say.
success.
Well, it's certainly better than what we have in Afghanistan now, is it
Well,
not?
every place is better than what we have in Afghanistan now.
Right, you're proving my point. So
No,
why don't we
I'm
try
not,
what
because
they have?
Afghanistan's going to
Why don't
be
we
what
try what the
Afghanistan
Lebanese have?
is. We can't make Afghanistan be like Lebanon. We can't make Afghanistan be like anything but
We can
Afghanistan.
try something other than what we're trying now.
Are you guys talking about Lebanon, Pennsylvania? Because that is a
Yes.
great place.
It is a great town. Good food.
Yes.
Yeah.